gods will be smiling. All right. Excellent. Well, welcome everyone. This is, in fact, the Speaking MBA Masterclass, and MBA in this case stands for Mastering Your Business Acceleration as an expert who speaks professionally. So, what I'd like you to do is let go of any kind of craziness, mania, previous programs that you've taken, listening to all the wrong kinds of gurus. And I say gurus, obviously, with some sarcasm. Gooroo is how you spell that. Let's make today a clean start. Take a nice deep cleansing breath, a nice deep yogic breath, in with the good air, out with the bad. Let go of all the other crazy nonsense that you've heard, the funky, upside down, backwards, exhausting advice that you might have heard about how to build a highly profitable speaking business. Assume that this is day one. Assume this is day one. Get some paper and pen. If you don't have paper and pen, you absolutely need to run right now. I'm going to give you 15 seconds. Go get a notebook, go get your journal, go get a pad of paper and a pen, and you'll be taking pages and pages and pages of notes on how to do this the right way without exhausting yourself, without spinning your wheels, without doing all the marketing monkey work that you hate. And I'd love you to really, when I say clean slate, literally open up a fresh page in your notebook, flip to a clean page on a legal pad, and let's get you pointed in the right direction so that you can really master the business of speaking, almost like getting a graduate degree in business, except this graduate degree is not an MBA from a graduate school. It is the MBA in the business of speaking. So you'll know what to do and how the business really works and how the money works and how the strategy works and how all of these different things work. So if you're excited about that and you have a pen in your hand, type in the word pen. And when everyone has their pen, then we will get going.
Type about the pen. Type about the writing instrument.
Just make sure that you got something to write. Well, I don't care if it's a pen, pencil, crayon, whatever it is. But
ooh, Nancy's using a green pen today.
Fantastic. I love that. Green ink.
Fills all over the keyboard.
Exactly. So here is why I'm encouraging you to take notes. There's two kinds of notes. Ninja note-taking method that I'll share with you. And I've never really shared this on a webinar. I share this in my live presentations, but I don't think I've ever put this in a webinar. I found this very, very valuable when I'm taking part in any sort of education, seminar, lecture, speaker, even online training or video. As we're talking about these dozen or so strategies, I think about 13 strategies that we'll cover today, I want you to write down easily doable. If where you are in your speaking, consulting, and coaching business, for you, given where you are, they are in fact easily doable. I want you to, so mark those somehow, right? Either put an E next to it or have a little asterisk or a symbol for things that you would find easily doable sooner rather than later. The second notation I want you to take is items that would have a major impact. So things that would really be a game changer for you, knowing where you are in your speaking business, knowing what you have to work with. Now, obviously, there's going to be things that are both easily doable and will have a major impact. So you're going to mark those with an E and an M or a star and an arrow or whatever your note-taking methodology is. But those are the ones that I want you to pay particular attention to. The ones that are going to be easily doable and have a major impact. Now, I did not invent this ninja note-taking method. I heard it from Jim Jacobus, who's a certified speaking professional, is a sales trainer out in Texas. Jim told me that it's not original to him either. So I have an acronym here, GSTFSG. Type in the question box if you know what that acronym stands for. GSTFSG, Jim Jacobus. CSP stands for Certified Speaking Professional, so I'll solve that for you now. But any guesses as to what GSTFSG stands for? Because Jim shared this with me, telling me basically he stole it. It's not original to him either. And so I'm stealing it from Jim. Anyone have any idea what that acronym stands for? Teresa, any guesses?
I was struggling until I think I just saw the answer in the question box. So I don't know what that is, but I think some of our people on the call do. Some of these answers are coming through, and I'm thinking they're right.
All right. Well, so I'm giving credit and attribution because you always want to give credit and attribution to people, even if it's not originally theirs. So I am giving credit to the guy who stole this from some guy. The guy who stole this from some guy is what GSTFSG stands for. So it's not mine, it's not Jim's, but I'm giving it to you, and the only attribution I have is obviously the guy that told me, hey, I stole this from some guy, don't know who it is, can't remember, but it's not mine either. So feel free to run with that. Feel free to run with that if you want to. All right, let me tell you, this just happened yesterday, and I am so excited. I know Teresa is so excited. I want to tell you about one of our huge client success stories that you would not think is a client success story when I start telling you how it is. But what it really takes to be successful in a speaking-driven business is what our client Lisette Johnson, from the very beginning of her interaction with us, she was committed, she was decisive, and she took action. So as you guys know, we often invite people to a strategy call to see how we can help them. And I also put that link in the footer here, so you see what that link is right now. We'll circle back to that later. It's doitmarketing.com/apply. We really only want to talk to people that we know we can help. We really only want to take money from people where we know we can generate serious results. When Lisette came to us, she was not one of these people. So we actually turned down her strategy session. We said, sorry, we're not in a position to help you right now. We normally work with speakers who are further along in their career, who have a business topic or a business focus or any of these kinds of things. Teresa, what did Lisette do when she got that email from you?
She did not take no for an answer, first of all. She answered with a very long email telling me, this is why you need to speak with me. I think you must understand. I have this amount of speaking background. I have this, I have this, I have this. And I sat on the side of the computer going, okay, then, well, let's have a conversation then. She was determined. She was committed. And she was going to make this happen one way or another. And she was not going to let my measly no stop her. So she was very resilient. And yes, she let go. I let go of ego. She let go of ego. And we had an amazing conversation.
And I think she also, what I put here in this next bullet is that Lisette was committed to generate revenue in her speaking-driven business, even if that meant pivoting and flexing her topic.
That's right.
Or pivoting and flexing the lens onto her expertise, where before it was completely not marketable. And now, and there's a punchline coming here, now it is completely marketable and attractive and effective to a specific set of buyers. So what it really takes is you have to want the success more than you fear the work. I hope you're writing that down in your notes, and I hope that's your, you steal that from me, guys. Steal that from me. Have that be your guy who stole it from some guy, right? And so now you become the guy or the gal who stole it from me. Want the success more than you fear the work. And where did she end up yesterday? Here's what she put in our clients only Facebook group. And you can see this is literally torn from the headlines. I just did a screen grab. It's from 22 hours ago. My first money conversation, telling them all the results they can expect with my programs. And I confidentially shared their investment. I think she meant confidently. But anyway, was $7,500 and then shut up and waited. It felt like an hour, even though it was more like 20 seconds. I am well above the average $2K that they normally pay, but we moved up to my minimum get out of bed number of $4K, and they're looking to their sponsors for the rest. Hashtag it works, hashtag do it or go home. So let's be clear on this. Totally unmarketable, totally packaged wrong, positioned wrong, wrong messaging, was not getting anywhere, comes in to work with us, refuses to accept no, totally coachable, willing to pivot, flex, let go of her ego, let go of what she thought was right. She wants the success more so than she feared the work. And she quotes $7,500 out of the gate, gets a commitment for $4,000, which is way more than she'd ever gotten before, and sent the client back hunting for the remaining $3,500. And I'll tell you, with our help and with our coaching, she's going to get that other $3,500. We're going to get it from a sponsor. We're going to get it from a vendor. We're going to get it from a related association. There's lots of ways to close that gap financially. This is what it takes, my friends. This is a story that, and we see similar stories, not quite this dramatic, of, even taking, turning the person away from our front door saying, hey, you know what? We're really probably not a fit. We really probably can't help you. And we do that out of integrity. We do that out of ethics. We do that because we're not in business to take checks from people who are hopeless. If we think you're hopeless and you've got no chance of making it in the speaking, consulting, training, coaching, online world, we're not gonna take the call. We're not gonna invite you into our program. We're gonna throw you back in the water. We throw the little fish back, and we take on the folks that are serious and ready and willing and committed to the results. So I couldn't be happier about this story. And again, literally 22 hours in, and this is what just happened yesterday. Teresa,
and I think the other thing, David,
go ahead.
And it's around the confidence of being able to let that $7,500 leave her mouth. When I spoke to her the very first time, she had never gotten more than $1,000 ever, if she got paid at all.
Right.
And so she's coming from a world of absolute underpayment and no confidence in her value and lack of clarity of what's bookable and marketable in the marketplace. And she's locked and loaded now. This is one of those success stories that I will be telling for a long time. She's been amazing to work with too.
Absolutely. So let's get to your speaking MBA. A traditional MBA, a Master of Business Administration graduate degree, has different concentrations. And so we're going to talk about 6 of them, and there's probably 2 or 3 or 4 points under each one of these. I think, like I said, I got about 13, 14 things to share with you. So again, get the pen ready, get the paper ready. We're going to talk about strategy. We're going to talk about entrepreneurship, becoming a better entrepreneur of your expertise. We're going to talk about finance and money. We're going to talk about management and how to run your speaking-driven business so that it doesn't run you. We're going to talk about the economic reality and the economic engine of the speaking, training, and coaching and consulting industry. And we're going to talk about some innovations and some ways to look at your business in a very innovative way that's going to generate more revenue more quickly than you might be used to, or that you might even think is possible, much like you saw with Lisette a moment ago. So we're talking about degrees, like an MBA degree, a PhD degree, a BA degree. In our experience, there are 3 degrees of success, or three strata, really. And this is because this is an MBA course. We have to use big fancy words like strata. But here are the 3 layers. How about layers? Is that better?
Layers will work.
Layers is better than strata. So speakers that are out there doing work for less than $5,000 per speaking or training day. Layer 2 is folks that are in that $5,000 to $10,000 sweet spot consistently. And let me underline that word, consistently. And then, of course, they're the folks that are doing 10K, 15K, 18K sort of keynotes and seminars and programs like that. Again, consistently being the key word. So I'm curious, just by identifying kind of 1, 2, and 3, layer 1, layer 2, layer 3, where are you now? And we'll keep this anonymous. We don't need to call out names on this one. But just so we can shape the rest of our conversation today to be appropriate, I'm curious where you are right now in your speaking-driven business as far as doing a training day, a consulting day, a coaching day, a speaking program, a workshop, a seminar, a training. If you're 5K or less, it's layer 1. Between 5K and 10K, you're layer 2. And 10K to 15K or more, you are layer 3. And please type that in the question box. And then I'm going to ask Teresa if there's any patterns, any majority Where are people tilting one way or the other?
Big majority in 1, or some have said A and level 1,
Okay.
less than 5K, 5K. We've got a top performer, number 3. Hi, Dawn. Great to see you again. We've got, yep, a couple of 3s. Yep, a couple more 3s, but mostly 1s.
Well, here's the deal, right? The folks that are really the achievers and the rock stars and the eagles, no matter what level they're at, they know that the level they're at is only the level that they're at today. And that there's a next layer, there's a next chapter, if you will, of their professional success. And if they get after it, not only will they make more money, but they will have more impact. They will be able to help more people, touch more audiences, and connect with a deeper and wider audience for their message. And so that is important personally. That is important professionally. Yes, it's important financially, but it's not just about mo money, mo money, mo money. Of course, you'll make more money once you get this dialed in. But above and beyond the money, it's about reaching more people and having a greater impact and, frankly, having a greater influence in your industry, in your topic, in your niche, and with your target market. And that's going to raise the boats on all of your other investable opportunities. So let's say you do speaking plus consulting or speaking plus coaching or speaking plus an online course. The more you monetize the speaking, the more opportunities you have for inviting more and more people into those other buckets of revenue that you have built. And we'll talk about that in the finance portion of our time together. So let's start with strategy. Strategy is super important. As you know, tactics without strategy is busy work, and strategy without tactics is a pipe dream. So we don't want you to be stuck in either one of those buckets. I guess they could write that down, Teresa, right? Strategy without tactics is a pipe dream. Tactics without strategy is busy work. There's a tweetable. There is a tweetable. So the first thing you have to do is decide who you are. Decide who you are. I have a very simple 3-part formula to share this with you. A lot of people make a mistake by only focusing on what they're passionate about. And this is where you get the do what you love and the money will follow. Well, do what you love and you will actually go broke. You do not want to be doing what you love and hoping and praying and wishing that someone's going to come along and pay you for that. It is a 3-part equation, is not a 1-part equation. So let's walk through this real quick. Yes, it's about what you're passionate about, but then you have to immediately connect that to who I am passionate about. Who do I want to serve? Who do I want to hang out with? Who's my tribe? Who are my peeps? Is it engineers? Is it doctors? Is it speakers and trainers? Is it construction industry? Is it real estate industry? Is it hospitals and healthcare? Is it high tech? Is it media companies? Is it the entertainment industry? Who are the people that you want to get in front of the most? Then, looking at those people, ask yourself question number 3, what are they passionate to do, learn, or become? Once you connect those, what are they passionate about learning, doing, or becoming? Now you have a business. Now you have an audience-centric business and a demand-driven business. If you just focus on the first circle, which a lot of these speaker gurus will tell you, oh, focus on what you're passionate about and just go speak on that and coach people on that. And no. Let me go back to our friend Lisette. She was focused on circle 1 before she came to us. Where'd the $7,500 check come from? It came from all 3 of these circles being aligned, being tight, being coordinated, and being focused. And it wasn't just what she was passionate about. It was what she was passionate about aimed at who she wanted to get in front of the most, and then dialing in exactly what they wanted to learn, do, or become. That's where the money is. So don't take a simplistic approach to this. This is vitally important. Number 2, decide who your prospects are. Now you guys know this is an MBA course because I've got a complicated 3-part mathematical, scientific, geological diagram here. It's very simple. Value relevance, and potential. So I want you to think about this and look at this diagram. Take this in closely. If you have relevance and value, meaning that there's no potential, not a lot of people have that problem, then you can't scale it. That's the box on the left-hand side of my diagram, right? With the R plus V, but there's no potential, you can't scale it. You're going to have a targeting problem. You're going to have a scope problem. It's going to be too narrow, too niche, too superficial, whatever it may be. Let's look on the other side of R plus P. Yes, your topic has relevance. Yes, your market has potential, but they don't see the value. This is not something urgent that they want or need to move the needle on. So now you have the problem on the right-hand side of my diagram. They won't value it. And now you're a commodity. Now you're a same old lame-o speaker. You're a nice to have. You're not a have to have. You're a commodity. You're an easily replaceable part. There's nothing special. There's nothing unique. There's nothing distinct about what you do. Now, let's look at value plus potential, but no relevance. Value plus potential means you know the value. You understand a lot of people have this problem, but the relevance is not coming through to the clients. So now you have the problem that's at the bottom of this diagram. They don't get it. You're speaking in buzzwords or jargon, or your message is just not landing the right way. So what you want is you want all three of these circles to intersect. Relevant, valuable, high potential prospects who have urgent, pervasive, expensive problems. That is the bullseye of your target market. That's the center, in fact, of the bullseye. So out of these three problems, knowing what you guys know, no matter what strata you're in, you could be a level 1 speaker expert, level 2, level 3, which one of these three problems is it that you're having a messaging problem, commodity problem, or target problem? And just use those three words. Messaging, type that in the question box if you would. If you can self-diagnose this now that I've made this clear for you. Are you primarily wrestling with a messaging problem? Are you primarily wrestling with a commodity problem that people don't value what you do? Or are you primarily wrestling with a targeting problem and you can't get in front of the right people or enough of the right people often enough? So the words are messaging, commodity, targeting. And I'll give you I'll give you 10 seconds to finish doing that. And Teresa, what's the jury say on this one?
Wow, this is a little more split than I thought it would be. Joey says it's messaging. True and Tim says it's commodity. Lynn and Nancy say that it's messaging. Rick, commodity. We got kind of a toss-up between messaging and commodity, but we got a couple of targeting people too. Jill and Paul and Jim. All of those targeting. Yeah, this is a great slide, by the way, David.
I'm brand new. I brought the graduate school. I brought the grad school stuff to this one.
We're serious now, I can tell.
We're going deep here, people. We are going deep. So let's talk about this. And this also has to do, by the way, with the three circles, the targeting and the commodity and the messaging. I'm going to piss some people off right now. I'm going to ask you, who are you disturbing? Who are you pissing off? So, for example, Larry Winget is the anti-motivational speaker, right? He calls himself the pit bull of personal development. And his initial book and his initial keynote, his first claim to fame really coming up, was called Shut Up, Stop Whining, and Get a Life. And then since then, he's also written books like You're Broke Because You Want to Be. It's called Work for a Reason. Your Kids Are Your Own Damn Fault is another Larry Winget book. So he is irritating to some people. Another example, Gary Markle is a performance management expert. His platform is No More Performance Reviews. He says, tear it up. They're broken. They're done. I'm not going to help you fix your performance management, performance evaluation problem. We're going to blow it up and we're going to replace it with something called catalytic coaching. Both of these guys are very irritating, disturbing, and they will piss a certain portion of their target market off. Question for you is, who are you disturbing? Or are you plain vanilla, playing it safe in the middle of the road. And the problem with doing that, my friends, is you know where the roadkill is? The roadkill is always in the middle of the road. You got to be edgy. You got to be different. You got to have an opinion. You got to have a slant. Information is a commodity. What they're really paying speakers and consultants and experts for now, these days, is opinion, insight, recommendation. They're paying you for your lens onto your topic, not your topic. Leadership, commodity topic. Sales, commodity topic. Marketing, commodity topic. Time management, marketing, you name it. Innovation, commodity, commodity, commodity. What's your take on time management? What's your take on leadership? What's your flavor of innovation? What's your twist on marketing? If you don't have a lens and an insight or a twist, you are literally just the same old lame-o speaker. Let me leave you with this thought. When you're looking about making your topic a little bit more edgy, a little bit more different, a little bit more chewy. You want to have a chewy topic. Chewy. You want this to be chewy, texture, like a thick, fudgy brownie. Teresa, you like thick, fudgy brownies? Because I sure do.
I do, especially with a little hot fudge, now you're making me hungry.
Yeah, the whipped cream, the sauce, the whole thing. So listen.
That's right.
If you don't risk turning some people off, you're never going to turn anybody on. And there's a lot of speakers and experts that find themselves in that boat. If you don't risk turning some people off, you will never turn anybody on. Where they're going to go find $7,500 or $10,000 to bring you in. They might not have it, but they're going to go find it. They're going to go make it happen like what we saw with Lisette. They're going to leave that call going, we have to get her in here. She's awesome. She's amazing. She's highly relevant. This is exactly what our members, our audience, or our team needs to be hearing right now. If you don't have an edge, you're not going to get that kind of response. Number 4, and we're still in the strategy section here. Strategy is the biggest section, of course, because, I want you to stop waiting for things. One of the things that our speakers and clients and prospects often say is, oh, well, I'm not ready to be a speaker. I'm not ready to go out and get $5,000, $7,000. I have to write a book first. No, you don't. No, you don't. If you have a book, that is fantastic. Great. Let's figure out how to market that asset. Let's figure out how to bake that into your speaking and coaching and consulting business. You don't need to wait for anything at all. So instead of worrying about writing a book, whether that's a professionally published book, self-published book, ebooks, booklets, any of these things, do you have to have these things? No. Are they a nice to have? Are they handy? Are they good fodder for an outbound marketing and value first sales campaign? Sure. Do you have to have any of these things? You do not. What you need are tangible sources of excellence. And the best way to get that is to repurpose the things that you already have by using the strategy that we call chunk it up and chunk it down. So let's say that you've got a keynote or a seminar. Hiding in that keynote or seminar, 1 to 3 hour program, are probably 5 to 10 articles. Each point, each story, each metaphor, each example can be broken out as a separate standalone article. You put a bunch of articles together on a related theme, now you have an ebook or a lead magnet or a download from your website. You like the way that ebook is shaping up? Now you have a podcast. You can take those articles, each of those sections of the ebook or chapter of the ebook becomes a podcast episode. If you don't have a book yet and you can start to collect things like your podcast transcripts, your articles, your seminar slides, right? You can put those together and now you've got the outline or even the beginnings of the writing of your book. If you have a book, you can reverse engineer that, right? So this is what I mean by chunk up and chunk down. If you have blogs, 50 blogs is a book. If you have a book, but you need some blogging content, atomize the book and you'll get 50 blogs and podcasts and Facebook Lives and videos. None of you guys, unless you're fresh off the boat and starting completely with zero assets of any kind. If you have a 45-minute speech, you can start doing this repurposing strategy right now. It's no additional work. It's no additional burden. You're not killing yourself with social media monkey work that's not going to get you a lead or a prospect or a sales conversation. You're simply recycling, repurposing, and redeploying assets that you already have through different methods and through different media. I want everyone to take a nice deep breath, a nice deep sigh of relief where you go, oh my God, thank God I don't have to do all this work. You know, people look at our company. They look at Teresa, they look at me, they look at Sam, they look at our whole team. And they say, well, how you guys are everywhere. How come you're constantly posting these articles and blogs and videos and webinars and resources and cheat sheets? Guess what? We have become masters of the repurpose, redeploy, and reuse strategy. So we are not constantly exhausting ourselves with social media monkey work or content marketing that doesn't lead to sales. We are doing what we're recommending that you do, and our strategies that we share with all of our clients, which is not to exhaust yourself with the monkey work, but to get in front of buyers with value. The reason any of these items are valuable to you is because they are steps or they are assets in a sales campaign. Blogging for the sake of blogging, please don't do that. Tweeting your brains out for months or years, hoping to get booked off a tweet, no. Exhausting yourself on LinkedIn, posting and articles and updates and hoping someone at some point will just be so annoyed by you that they're going to hire you for 10 grand. No one's going to hire you because you annoyed them. They will hire you because you reached out with a high value, high relevance, urgent, pervasive problem that they have and that they know they have, and you've offered them a conversation about how you can help. It's that simple. If your content that you're repurposing serves you in that campaign, awesome, go for it. If it doesn't, then you're wasting your time. Teresa, guess what I just did?
What did you just do, David?
I just pissed off half the people on this webinar. Telling them, oh, you're wasting your time. Stop tweeting, stop linking, stop Facebooking, stop this and stop that if it's not towards a sales campaign. Another thing I don't want you to wait for, video. Oh my God, I can't be a speaker. I don't have a video. Well, this is a chicken or the egg syndrome, right? If you don't have a video now, you're never going to get a video of you speaking if you don't go out and start booking some speaking. Also, no video beats a bad video. So you do not want bad amateur video that's in the wrong setting and the wrong context, because here's what buyers will do. Buyers will set you in the context in which they see you. So if they see you doing a program for 15 people in a meeting room, they are not going to say, oh, this is the person who's going to be great on stage in front of our 2,000 delegates coming to our big global conference. If you want big stage gigs, you have to have big stage video. It is actually hurting you. Let me repeat this. It's hurting you to have the 15-person audience video when you're going after the 2,000-person gig. In that case, and in many other cases, it's better to have no video so that they don't have a preconceived notion of in what context you like to play, and they're going to hire you for your value and not for your video. Is speaker video important? Yes. Is it important on day 1 or day 5 or day 20? No. It's a nice phase 2 or phase 3. So for the folks that self-identified as, hey, I'm on track 1, I'm in that $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 range, and your video's not up to snuff or doesn't exist, don't worry about that. It's the track 2 and the track 3 people that need to make this more of a priority, and even there, it can be put into context the right way if you know what you're doing. All right, video pop quiz. This is an interactive little game show here in the question box. What do you think is the goal of a good speaker video? A, to showcase my best material. B, demonstrate strong audience reaction. C, prove the buyer's not making a mistake. D, share my signature story. E, to get buyers to hire me. What do you guys think it is? Type in A or B or C or D or E, the letter of your choice. Which do you think is the right answer? Based on what meeting planners and conference producers and association executives really use that video to do.
Oh, they're going to be so surprised, David. We've got a lot of
Has anyone got it
E's.
right yet?
No, well, yes, we do. We just had two get it right so far. 3 get it right. Boy, these are flying by so fast. They're excited.
So you guys that typed in C for Charlie, you are correct.
Woohoo!
It is to prove the buyer is not making a mistake. So it's insurance, my friends. It is risk reversal and insurance. Topic looks good. Website looks good. Talk to the person. She sounds great. You know what? Let me look at the video just one more time to make sure this person's not going to embarrass me, is not going to, cause me to be called on the carpet by my CEO going, why'd you hire her? She was terrible, right? It's a risk reversal, risk elimination strategy. So it's a little bit less important than you might think. Does it have to be great? It's nice if it's great. Here's what it must not. It must not suck. It must not undermine your credibility as someone who can command the stage and command your topic. So that's why I say specifically, no video beats a bad video. The bad video is going to kill you right here. No video, it's like, well, at least they're not sure if you suck. Why guarantee it? Why guarantee it with a bad video? So you don't want to do that. All right, let's talk about dialing in the strategy. So John Garrett came through our program. He says, David's program is easily the best return on investment a recovering CPA could dream of. I was able to sell more speaking engagements to better clients and at consistently higher fees to the point of an 85% increase in income from last year. I booked a $5,500 gig within 5 weeks of starting. So this is the kind of thing, once you get the strategy, once you stop holding yourself back, I have to have a book, I have to have a certain kind of video, I have to have a certain kind of, you know what you have to have? Relevance, value, and connection with a certain target market that wants and needs and gets what you do and is willing to pay a decent working fee. And by the way, a decent working fee is in the $4,500, $5,500, $7,500 range. Anything beneath that range, and you are undermining your expertise. You're losing business because you're too cheap. So you don't want to do that. That's what John used to do until he got these strategies dialed in. So he gets the MBA in strategy. Next one, entrepreneurship. This is about repositioning. This is strategy number 7 that I'm sharing with you here, but the category is now changed to entrepreneurship. So you want to reposition what you do, even to the extent of your program titles. So things like sales success secrets, very vanilla, right? Every sales speaker could teach that program. A specific problem is overcoming the stall, how to get your prospect off the dime. Even if you're niched in a specific target market, like let's say that you talk to financial executives, CFOs, controllers, etc., becoming a more effective CFO, even though it's niched, it is still a pretty generic topic. How will you help them? What will you help them with? 7 CFO negotiating strategies for vendor contracts. So very, very specific types of problems that are sitting on that buyer's desk right now. One of the shortcuts that I'm going to share with you to get this entrepreneurial energy back into your business is the word for. Mm-hmm. So whatever your topic is, put your client's name, or in other words, the name of their category, the name of their industry, the name of their profession in there. So it's not just leadership essentials, it's leadership essentials for nurse managers. If you're talking in the healthcare world and your clients are chief nursing officers or nurse managers, right? When you're talking to accounting firms, it's going to be leadership essentials for accounting leaders, leadership essentials for accountants, leadership essentials for financial services professionals. Use that word for to target and dial in the exact buyer persona that you want to sell this to, so that when they see it, they go, oh my gosh, this is perfect. This is exactly for us. And of course it's exactly for us because you've customized the for. You've customized the for, F-O-R. All right. Number 8 is refocus on the reality that your prospects, clients, and audiences are experiencing right now. So generally speaking, we do not get a lot of mileage out of speakers and experts who are primarily motivating, inspiring, touching, I laughed, I cried, milk came out my nose, better than Phantom, better than Cats, oh my gosh, what a great show. We generally take that kind of speaker and we give them an underlying edge, because those are soft topics, right? We give them an underlying edge of some hard value. And here's the words I'm talking about in the second column. You want to start talking about results, outcomes, skills, tactics, that your program, people will leave your program knowing what to say and how to say it, what to do and how to do it to get result 1 and outcome 2 and goal number 3. So you want to have a layer of content on the motivation, just like every content speaker needs a layer of motivation on their content. There is no such thing, at least there's no such marketable thing, as a purely motivational speaker who's got, air, feathers, fluff for content. That really doesn't sell these days. And there's also no room for the pure content speaker who's just a jackhammer of dry, boring facts, content, data, and that does not have that layer of entertainment, motivation, inspiration, something that will get people off their butts and implementing the content that they're sharing. So that's hugely important in your positioning. That's very important in your packaging, that the motivational folks need the layer of content and the content folks need the layer of motivation in your marketing, not just in your program, but in your actual marketing. Now, let's talk about relevance. Let's talk about current conditions. If your industry, and there's always industries that are up and down no matter what the general economy is doing, but if your industry's in a recession, consider adding these phrases to your program title. So, how to sell when no one's buying. How to get the job of your dreams when no one's hiring. Leadership during tough times. Sales, during a crisis. Whatever it might be that's happening in your industry, if it's torn from the headlines, especially if you're getting these as objections, guys, write this down. When you add these to your titles, you are doing objection busting in advance. So imagine that you call a meeting planner or you call an association executive and they say, oh, it's a terrible time in our business. It's a big recession. No one's got money. Our conference attendance is down. Our trade show booths are down. Our, exhibitors are hating it. Our board members are complaining and screaming. Here's your comeback to that. If you have a highly relevant topic that is talking about solving these kinds of problems that are real for your prospects, when they start having that poverty talk with you, here's what you say. You say, I know. That's why we're talking. Because when things are all peachy, rosy, and wonderful, then my program's a good program. My program's a nice to have. But when things are the way that you just described, everything is horrible, terrible time in our business, recession, depression, our conference attendance is down, trade show is down, exhibitors are down, program advertisers have abandoned ship, everything is hitting the fan. Now's the time that your members need me now more than ever. That's your positioning. So if your industry is having a dip or a downturn or a crisis, you need to come on the scene as even more relevant and even more valuable now more than ever, because they're in trouble, because there's no money, because there's crisis. So think about it this way. You're the doctor. You've got the cure. If there is disease and sickness throughout the land, are the services of a doctor more in demand or less? And go ahead and type in the question box. There's disease, death and disease and sickness all throughout the land. You're the doctor. You've got the antidote. You've got the vaccine. You've got the cure. When everything is going terrible and you've got the medicine, are your services more in demand or less? Is it more or less? Is it up or down? What do you guys think?
Oh, good. I was hoping they'd come back with more. More,
totally more in demand. Yeah, what do? We go, oh, they don't have a budget. Oh, they don't want to hire me. oh, they're stalling. They're putting me off. And we quit and we give up. I don't want you to quit. I don't want you to give up. I want you to walk through walls to help your clients and audiences. I want you to not take no for an answer. I want you to be committed, decisive, clear, and firm that if they don't buy from you, they're an idiot. If they don't buy from you, they're going to die, right? Imagine going to a doctor and you've got this disease and pestilence, and then the doctor says, well, here's some medicine. And they say, no, we're good. We don't need the medicine. We just came in to browse. We don't really want the medicine. Sorry, kidding. When they leave your office, they're going to die. And you have to market and sell and connect and serve and help them as if that is 100% true. Because in a very serious way, almost in a literal way, it is. Their leadership will die. Their culture will die. Their sales will die. Their morale will die. Their results will die. They won't die, right? They will not physically stop breathing, but they will be much, much worse off if they don't buy from you. And guess who's the number one person that needs to believe that? More than anyone else. More than Teresa believes it, more than I believe it, more than any prospect you ever talk to believes it. Who do you think needs to believe what I just said is true more than anyone on the planet?
That's right, guys. True, and Olivia, and John, and Catherine, Joseph, Carl, me. Many exclamation points behind some of these.
Me. Me is the correct answer, my friends. Exactly right. So let's talk about sales conversations. This is also part of the entrepreneurship curriculum of your MBA. When you hear your fee is too high, I guarantee you it's three problems that it's not. It's not about your fee. It's not even about your program. It's not even about their budget. If they had 100% certainty that you could solve their problem, like 100%, zero chance of this not working, they would gladly pay whatever fee. So what you need to do is, if you have this problem in your speaking-driven business, you need to work on your level of certainty, and you also need to work on their level of financial pain or gain. So what does that mean? That means you have to ask about money early and often, where they are and where they want to go, and structure a sales conversation around that return on investment so they clearly see that investing with you is a huge benefit and a huge asset. And we'll map out that sales conversation here momentarily. Let me tell you, if you get this entrepreneurship thing right, this entrepreneurial energy around your speaking-driven business, you very well might get results like our client, Tony Lucero. So Tony was about, I'm going to say 5 weeks into our program when this happened. And his entrepreneurial energy was about solving problems. It was about the disease and death and sickness. And he was the doctor, and his beliefs were 1000% firmed up that he could help his clients and audiences solve the urgent, pervasive, expensive problems with relevance and value and potential, right? The three circles. Here's what he was able to create. Long story short, I picked up 2 coaching clients totaling $32,400, and I'm on retainer for 90 days at $10,000 per month with the company. So that is $62,400 because of his certainty, because of his entrepreneurship, because he knew that he wasn't a professional speaker, he was a professional problem solver. And if they needed consulting, they were going to get consulting. If they needed coaching, he was going to offer coaching, whatever the distribution method was. And Tony came in as kind of a level 2, if you're curious, level 2 speaker. And he soon made the jump to level 3 using the kind of strategies that we taught him in our mentorship program. And then Tony, even very kindly at the bottom here, I circled his comment about your program, David, made this possible. You know, we love to take credit, but you know what? Tony gets the credit because Tony did the work. Like all of our client success stories, Tony gets the credit because Tony did the work. And so that is an entrepreneurship success story in your MBA program. Let's move on to innovation. First innovation I want you to consider is to stop thinking like a marketer or an advertiser. For heaven's sake, stop pushing, stop peddling, stop trying to be a commodity vendor. And what you really want to start doing is think more like a publisher and a socializer. What does a publisher do? A publisher puts out value, right? A publisher of a magazine puts out a magazine. A producer of a podcast puts out a podcast. A publisher puts out value items. And a socializer invites people to a party. So think about these 4 words as a replacement for marketing and for sales. Offer value, invite engagement. What does a publisher do? Offer value. What does a socializer do? Invite engagement. In a sales mode, this literally means stop selling and start proactively inviting people to a conversation on how you can help them with results that they already want, that they already need, and that they already know about. That is the key difference between a trusted advisor marketing program that we teach versus a pushy, salesy, spammy, slimy sales program, dial 100 cold calls a day, work the phones, batch and blast emails, mail out 10,000 postcards. None of that crap works anymore, guys. Hello, 1997 called, and they'd like their speaker marketing strategies back. That does not work in any way, shape, or form, but 80% of the speaker marketing gurus out there are still teaching that crap. And it's going to make you funky, sad, and broke. And it's not going to get you hired. It's not going to get you hired. It's certainly not for premium fees. And it's just a slow, hard, painful way to go out of business. Next innovation is stop talking about yourself. Oh my goodness, this is one of our pet peeves. This is one of the hardest things that our clients let go of, is stop talking about yourself and tap the power of you. So my friend Dan Janelle sent these postcards out a few years ago. It's a New Yorker style cartoon. It says, have you seen the latest issue of the Journal? It's all David Newman this, David Newman that, and nothing about us. So of course, these are all laser printed, right? So Teresa French got one that said, have you seen the latest issue of the Journal? It's all Teresa French this, Teresa French that, and nothing about us. So I kept this postcard. It's sitting in my office right now. It's framed. I put it in presentations. I put it in my live seminars. This is the first time I think I put this in a webinar for you guys, but I've shared this slide hundreds and hundreds of times. So now hundreds and hundreds of people know about my friend Dan Janelle and PR Leads at prleads.com because it's a great example of marketing that's too good to throw away because it's about my favorite person. It's about me. So you got to stop doing the you-centric, speaker-centric, expert-centric marketing. Totally turn the tables. This is a clever iteration of this, but everything in your marketing and everything in your sales conversation needs to be centered around you, your company, your team, your meeting, your conference, your goals, your convention, your CEO, your board members, you and your rule the day. And there's another tweetable. You and your rule the day in your messaging and in your marketing. The less about you, the better. You are a necessary evil to get your clients the outcomes that they want. If they could do it without you, if our clients could do it without us, trust me, they would, but they can't. So we have to put ourselves in the way as the bridge that gets them from where they are to where they want to be. You have to put yourself in the way, not talking about yourself, but put yourself in the way, and you are now the conduit. You are now the shortcut to get your clients and audiences from where they are to where they want to be. And that's super important. So stop selling, filter, and sort is another entrepreneurial strategy. Make them qualify for you. Here's how to build your sales magnetism. It's a 3-part template. This can be on your website. This can be in a sales letter. This can be in, website landing page. 3 parts, super simple. You need it when, and then talk about their symptoms, their challenges, their heartaches, headaches, problems, and gaps. You get is what you do. And again, this is the least important part of seminar, keynote, speech, program, mentoring. Notice I put why. YYY stands for yada, 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 because they truly don't care. That's the necessary evil part of the conversation. The third part is the pivotal phrase, so that. So that you get these results and these outcomes, this impact, and the emotional benefit that comes from generating that result. That is how to get booked. That is how to get prospects and clients to come to you. Powerful headline question if you want to operationalize this formula on your website, on your speaking page, in your program descriptions. Is this you? Here's an example that we use in our business, and see if you resonate with some of these. So again, I'm demonstrating this. You need to take this and flip it to your audience and your clients. So what our clients and our prospects say to us all the time, I love working with my clients. I love doing the speaking and training and coaching and consulting. I just want to do a better job of marketing and selling. Or they say, I feel like I'm the best kept secret in my industry. Clients love me, but I'm invisible to new prospects. Don't even see me. I have enough clients. Why aren't I making more money? What is wrong? I can't figure it out. I can't dial it in. Or I am tired of random acts of marketing. I'm tired of marketing by accident and settling for whatever business falls in my lap. Now, guess where I got this language? Did I hire a $10,000 copywriter? Am I a brilliant copywriter? Advanced MBA question. Where did this language come from? Because obviously the question I'm going to ask next is, where will your language come from if you want something equally compelling for your audience? Where do you think this language came from, guys?
We've got one answer on the board.
Where did I get this? Where did this originate, do you think?
Smart cookies. Your clients, David, John, Jim, Lynn, True. Carl says need of prospects and clients, folks who we've helped. Yes, Jill, that's right. Shannon says your mom. Maybe your mom was a part of this. I'm not sure.
Absolutely right. Absolutely. Well, not the mom part, but all the rest of it is absolutely right. This isn't brilliant copywriting, my friends. This is brilliant copy listening. So take all of those sound bites that you've heard countless times over and over and over again from clients, from audience members, from prospects, from previous conversations, whether they bought or not. But when people talk about the problems that you solve, how do they talk about them? Because the key here with the articulation is speaking prospect language about prospect problems. And if you do that, you win. And they will come to you and they will say, oh my gosh, Don, Susan, Jim, Fred, I went to your website and I felt like you were talking about us. I felt like you were talking about me. I felt like you were talking about our department and our company. So here's another sales aha moment for you. Never let your fee be the first number that comes up in conversation. You always have to establish the context of value and the contrast of scale. What I mean is, no matter what your topic, you always want to ask things like the average salary of the employees that they're going to send to your training or your program and how many there are. The average deal size that the company has, the customer lifetime value, whatever the metrics are, turnover, retention, there's all kinds of metrics that might impact what you do depending on your topic area, and then ask them, what would a 1% difference make, or 2 or 5 or 10%? Increase in the good stuff and decrease in the bad stuff. What would that mean to your business? What would that mean to your bottom line? What would that mean to the attendees? What would that mean to your members? What would that mean to your executive team? And always, always, always ask them the magic question about the opportunity cost when they talk about a problem and they say things like, well, you know, our employee retention isn't where it needs to be. Can you put a number on it? Well, our turnover is a little bit higher than we'd like. Can you put a number on it? Well, our sales are a little bit down this quarter. Can you put a number on it? Well, we're spending a little bit more than we'd like on recruiting fees. Can you put a number on it? Well, our benefits cost containment's a little bit out of control and, you know, our insurance rates went up. Can you put a number on it? If you relentlessly follow up every vague statement with can you put a number on it, you are going to dollarize and monetize the problem using their numbers. We never put this on them. We use their numbers, and then they understand the size and scope of their problem. Now, I'm guessing any of these problems with the things that we solve is going to be in the hundreds of thousands or probably millions or maybe even multi-millions of dollars. I'm guessing your speaking fee is not $100,000. I'm guessing your speaking fee is not $80,000. Even a small change in any of these things, once you put it in the context of the financial impact of your program, it's going to dwarf. Your fee is going to be dwarfed by the value. Write that one down. Your fee is going to be dwarfed by the value. And that's exactly how you want it. That is exactly how you want it. So let's talk about what happens when your fee is dwarfed by your value. Copy Green came through our program. She had some nice things to say about we give tremendous value before, during, and after. Direct, no BS, to the point, and honest. Techniques and processes are bulletproof, action-oriented, helping us get results and give you everything that we need to do that. That's all nice. The part that I highlighted is the part that I really, really like, because as an entrepreneur, when you're dialed in with your speaking MBA for entrepreneurship and you know how to have this dollars and cents conversation, you're no longer just selling a speech for 5 or 10K. You're selling the solution to a much larger context of a problem. So Copy says, using the tools I developed with your guidance, I locked in a $60,000 plus contract within 1 week, right? After the first week, $60K plus contract. She wasn't selling the speech. She was solving the problem. That's what an entrepreneur does. A speaker sells a speech. A speaking-driven entrepreneur solves a problem. And here's another soundbite for you, my friends. Solve bigger problems, get bigger checks. Solve bigger problems, get bigger checks. Even if it's solve more relevant problems and get bigger checks, you'll be much better off than you are today. Let's talk about economics. Next portion of our MBA curriculum here. This is a chart that came out of the National Speakers Association. This is what I call your minimum wage chart. This is your minimum wage, and I'm going to ask you to not necessarily pay attention to the left-hand side axis, because you can start making money on day one, like we've seen with countless clients that we've worked with. You don't need to wait 3 to 5 years before you're charging $5,500 or $5,700. You don't need to wait 6 to 10 years. This is just where people fall in the evolution. But basically, if you're not making $3,800 to $5,500 on day one, you are below minimum wage, and you are undervaluing your expertise, and you are also scaring away premium clients who are expecting to pay premium fees. This is your minimum wage chart. In our world, our clients go up from here, and they never, ever go lower than these numbers that I've circled in red. If they do, they're in serious, serious trouble. They're going to have a come to Teresa meeting or a come to David meeting about accepting lowball, goofball fees. So here's some reality-based math for you as we're talking about the economics of your speaking business. Simply put, the math has to work. You have to stop undercharging because it's killing your business. And that word undercharging, you can be a $15,000 speaker and still be undercharging. You can be a $12,000 speaker and still be undercharging relative to where you need to be and where you should be on that scale. So whatever undercharging means to you, that doesn't mean that you're making less than $4,000 a speech. That could mean that your fee's been stuck at $10,000 for 8 years and you haven't moved it up because you've been scared. And you don't know where the $12,000 or the $15,000 gigs are. Under-earning is not a business model. And I want you to just consider for a moment the halo effect of credible market rate fees. So that means you must be smart. That means your program must work. That means that other people must be happy to pay that fee. That means that you must be a true expert and that they're not making a mistake in hiring you. You will absolutely lose business if fees are too low, and I've seen this time and time and time again. So has Teresa, and so have all of our clients. Our clients prove this last fact all the time, that you can't get booked for $2,000 or $1,000, but you have no problem getting booked at 55 or 7,500. Why? Because you're now having a totally different conversation with a totally different type of prospect around a totally different kind of value delivery system that they want it, they need it, they get it, and you are now a have to have and not a nice to have because you've operationalized all the things that we've taught on today's webinar. Now, let's map this out here for a quick second. The way we do this math is called price times quantity equals total. I'm just going to map out 3 very simple line items. 2 speeches at 4,500, 1 training day also at 4,500, and these numbers are low. I mean, I'm keeping this super low. And then let's say you've got a coaching package that sells for 6,000 and you sell one of those a month. 2 speeches at 4,500 is $9K a month. That alone is going to bring in $108K over a 12-month period. If you want to add training, then you add 54. Now you're at 162. If you want to add the coaching component in, that's another 72. And the bottom line total on that is $234,000. There's nothing good, bad, or otherwise about this math. You know what it is? You now have a game plan. You can add more. You can take away. You can increase or decrease the quantity, the frequency, the fee level. You can flex it around whatever way you want. But the magic is you now know where you're going. You now have an economic target, a reality-based economic target for your business. And I'll tell you, my friends, it is really hard to hit a target that you cannot see. So let's say that you don't want to do training. Your model is purely speaking and coaching. So I turned that line green for, forget training for a moment. You have 108K coming from the 2 speeches. You have 72K coming from the coaching. You're still making 180K. But then the question becomes, is that enough? Maybe it is. That's great. Maybe you want to do more. Maybe you want to raise the fee. Maybe you want to have an online course. Maybe you've got some other things that you can monetize. The point is, now you know. You've got the compass, the map, and the GPS to get you to your financial goals much quicker and much faster because you cannot hit a target that you cannot see. So the revenue model, the building blocks here, any or all of these are good. There's no magic formula. Some people do primarily training and they do speaking as a secondary. Some people do speaking and they do consulting as secondary. Some people do a lot of consulting and coaching and they want to add speaking or they want to add lead generation through paid speaking to fill their coaching and consulting practice. There's no wrong way. There is no wrong way to do this. So let's talk about Susan Robertson. She was a track 2 in hiding. She was a track 2 in hiding, having a very hard time getting paid anything above $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. Very successful consultant. The speaking was totally stalled and totally in the toilet. So here's a text message that I got, Facebook Messenger actually. FYI, just got another gig for $12,500 for a day. I'm steadily raising my fees, and she's since raised it from even that, and so far getting it. Still not getting as many as I want, so there's some reality, right? She'd like to get 3 or 4 of these a month. That's awesome. But I'm getting more for the ones I'm getting, so I'm happy with my progress. Then she booked a 2-day gig for $30,000. And I asked her, I said, hey, I haven't heard about this. How's your 30K gig coming along? Did that close? She says, yeah, it's in 2 weeks. So fee elevation and escalation, once you get the math right, can be rapid, sudden, and it will make your head spin. Susan couldn't get out of town for more than $3 or $4 grand before coming into our program. And now she's getting a $30,000 check for a 2-day program or a $12,500 check for a single-day program. And good on her, she gets the credit because she did the work. So, and we hear stories like this all the time. I wish I had a whole nother webinar just to share the success stories, but I'll share some quick ones with you. 106K in the past 6 months. That's more than I've ever made in any 6-month period. Another thanks. Have a great weekend. Because of David and Teresa, I have a system to contact qualified leads. My sales proposition is what they're looking for, and I'm booking clients. And then Teresa responded with, we make a great team, and you drove, and we played the voice of the GPS, which we always do. And so she was totally crushing it there. Let's tally the nudge from Newman numbers. 3 new clients, 20K in income upfront, and a clear path to doing only one-to-many group coaching, etc., etc. Haven't slept in almost 3 weeks because my brain is too excited about the possibilities. I must tell you, because of so much I've learned, I broke the 6-figure mark already this year, and it's not even October, so that one came in, obviously, in the fall of last year. That's a nice one to get. Thanks for everything. Getting back on track. Booked $33,000 in the past 3 weeks. I've been using the great stuff in your program. Booked 2 $5,000 speeches this week. Thanks, David. And then here's one of my favorites. Don't want to count my chickens before they hatch, but it looks like your LinkedIn reach out message may have just landed me a $60,000 to $70,000 contract in less than a week of sales cycle. I have a handshake and verbal agreement from the CEO and his executives. We have the first event scheduled. I'm just formalizing the contract and sending them the paperwork today. So now you have a choice, my friends. You can dip into what we've been talking about here and you can get serious, or you can keep doing what you're doing. Old activity, old results, keep being stuck, treading water financially, or even having a slow decline, hopefully not a fast decline, not reaching whatever that next level is for you. Next level of premium clients, next level of fee. Maybe your clients, if you've been at this for a while, you're a level 2 or a level 3 speaker. Maybe your clients are retiring. Maybe your phone's not ringing like it used to. Maybe it's time to refresh or pivot or change some things up. And I will tell you, with no support and no accountability and no guidance, that can be a hard and lonely road. So we're going to invite you to a strategy call, which you're going to get with doitmarketing.com/apply. And that can all end today when you talk to our team. What we're going to do is we're going to hop on a call. We're going to diagnose what's really going on. We're going to find the strategic gaps in your speaking MBA program. We're going to help you refocus and reframe and reboot. We're going to look at everything that we talked about today of what needs to be fixed for you in particular around your messaging, around your packaging, around positioning and pricing, your marketing activities, your sales mix, what's working and what's not. And we're going to fill in what's missing for you to consistently get clients that you love and finally earn what you deserve in your speaking-driven business. So we've set aside some time to speak to you about how you can apply these ideas, not just talk about them, not just be on the webinar, not just watch the video, not just be a bystander, but actually go into application mode starting right now. And these sessions, the cost is free, and you get in on this with doitmarketing.com/apply. That's going to take you to a scheduler page. Once you book a time, it's going to open up a questionnaire, kind of a prep form. You're going to answer that questionnaire. You can keep that tab open while we're doing our Q&A here in a minute. And then do complete that questionnaire to the best of your ability once we hang up here so that we can really hit the ground running during your consultation call. The only catch is this is truly not for everyone. Please, Teresa, please. This is not for everyone, and we are not kidding. We're not kidding about this, are we?
No, we are not kidding. We need decisive, committed, gonna show up for the call, really engage, and get the value that we have waiting for them. I mean, we got to get the right people on the call, and I think we've got several of them on this call today.
So here's the punch list. Here's the punch list where we're going to save you a whole bunch of time and frustration, and just don't even bother booking the call, please. If building a high-fee speaking-driven business is not your number one priority for the next 3 to 6 months, don't book a call. If you don't know what you want to be when you grow up, no dabblers, no hobbyists, no wannabes. This is for people who are serious. You might not have gotten started yet, but you need to be serious about starting, like Lisette was serious about starting. So this is not, maybe someday I kind of think, I wish, I hope I want to be a speaker. You got to be drop dead serious about making it happen from whatever level you're starting at. You refuse to follow a proven process, and if you refuse to take action on specific instructions, we definitely don't want to be fighting with you on this call. We definitely don't want to be fighting with you on this call. If you refuse to change your low-fee mindset and low-fee business model, you have to be willing to go from zero to hero. You have to be willing to take the quantum leap that you saw Susan take, and that you saw Tony take, and that you saw Lisette take, and that you saw John take. You must be coachable. You're down to your last few bucks, and you need to pay the rent this month. This is not get rich quick. This is not millionaire speaker BS, smoke mirrors and nonsense. This is serious. So I'll tell you who this is for. So you are serious and decisive and committed to making your business profitable over the next 60 days. Whether you've done some paid speaking, or maybe you're on the other end of the spectrum, you're a level 2, you're a level 3, you're a seasoned pro. We've had some fantastic seasoned pros come through our program. Whether you've got your niche or message nailed down quite yet or not, that's one of the things that we can talk about when we hop on a call with you. Whether you're in it full-time or planning your corporate escape, and some of our best clients, which is kind of weird, but some of our best clients are still working the day job, and they are building their empire, and they're digging their well before they're thirsty. And it's going to be a very smooth and easy transition out of that corporate job, because everything will be done, everything will be built, and they just change ponies when the time is right. This is for you if you're willing to follow a proven process to ramp up revenue, and you take mentorship and direction well, and you are serious about putting another 10K to 20K in your pocket over the next 60 to 90 days, and from there, build a predictable flow of clients and cash. So why are we doing this? On the call, we're going to help you get total clarity about exactly what you want your business to look like and the exact steps that you should take to achieve your goals. If you want our help, and if we think it's a good fit, we may invite you to work with us, and we may not. Either way, it's going to be the most valuable 45 minutes that you invest to grow your speaking-driven business and help you get results. And like I said, the story I opened with about the amazing and incredible Lisette Johnson, we turned her down. We said, you know what? I don't think this is for you. And she said, hell no. It's not only for me. I need this. I want this. I'm going to make this happen. And look at the results that she got after just a few short weeks, because she met these criteria that we're talking about. So it's not where you are today. It's not, oh, I have a beautiful website and, finished video and I've got a best-selling book. You can start with zero, like Lisette started with zero. If you have the rest of these criteria, we want to talk to you. We want to help. We want to see if we can get you rocking and rolling sooner rather than later. So we're going to go to our Q&A here in a minute. I'm going to ask you if there's any questions that you have about today's teaching. We had about, 6 different sections, and 13 or 14 different teaching points and strategies and tactics and tools and scripts to share with you. Any questions that you have about today's teaching, we're happy to answer. I am going to stay here until we outnumber you. And I want to make sure that you have a completely thorough understanding and application of the strategies, tactics, tools, mindset, and skill set that we talked about today. Please type your question in the question box if you want to ask a question. Also, I would encourage you, if what we said today resonates with you and you want some proactive, specific guidance about your situation, book a call at doitmarketing.com/apply, and we'd be happy to talk with you, see how we can help, and get you pointed off in the right direction. So, who's got the first question? What can we help with? And I saw some questions flying by earlier. If you typed the question earlier, we've had lots of noise back and forth since then, so feel free to retype that question. Or if you have a new question that popped up, feel free to ask that, and we are here to help.
So David, John has the first question. He says, is this just speaking or no consulting coaching for sale a viable business model? So is just speaking, keynoting, if you will, a viable, or does he have to have the consulting coaching and all the back end?
No. Well, again, this is where the business model decisions are so vitally important. We have folks that all they want to do is speak. And there is a business model and there is a strategy to monetize that and be way more successful at it. There are other people who want to add those other things, who want to add or have added, coaching, training, speaking, consulting, CEO roundtables, facilitation, licensing, sponsorship. So basically this goes as deep as you would like it to go, or it can stay as focused as you want it to be. We have folks that just do speaking and training, and they don't do any coaching. They don't want consulting clients. They want to be in front of a room. They want to be up there for an hour to a day, and then they're gone. They are a one-night stand. They're a one-trick pony, and that's a perfectly valid business model. There are folks that get, six-figure and multi-six-figure consulting gigs, and they want to goose the juice with some speaking. Either goose the juice or juice the goose. I'm not sure what's happening to that poor goose, but something's happening there. Basically, this is what I mean by a speaking-driven business, right? It's speaking plus, plus, plus. You can have the plus, you can have a few pluses, you can have no pluses, you can have a lot of pluses. But dialing it in, we can help you create and monetize that speaking business that you've always wanted.
Love it. Liz Boston says, do you work with people just starting out and have only spoken in front of an audience in their professional job roles? I love that question.
Well, yes. And a couple of examples. We started out with Lisette, who's our poster child and our huge success story, and frankly, one of my personal heroes who's in our client base, that she started out with like nothing, like zero. Had a little bit of media, had sort of a topic, but it was more of a personal topic. It wasn't a business topic. And with the pivoting and the flexing and the monetizing, she literally went from less than $1,000 to $7,500, a prospecting plan and a pipeline, a sales process. So all of those different kinds of things. Even John Garrett that I talked to you about, who said that he had 85% increase in revenue year over year. He wasn't starting out, but he was getting a lot of gigs as corporate comedy. And corporate comedy tends to pay $1,500, $2,000, $2,500. He rapidly went from $5,500 now to $7,500, and now he's getting, I just talked to him last week, he's getting gigs for $10K. $10K gigs consistently, and he was, for a speech, for a keynote, never having done anything more than $2,500 corporate comedy shows previously. So that, like I said, the elevation and escalation can be quick. And it's not about this slow, painful, incremental crawl that first I got to make 1,000, then I got to make 2,000, then I got to make 3, then I got to make 4. No, you need to jump to where you need to be today. And we help our clients make that jump, stay there, and elevate from there. So yes, and this is what I was saying about even at the beginning of the call, right? Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3. And we have, by the way, we have tracks in our client in our client-facing program. We have specific tracks and learning paths for folks that are coming in your exact situation. We have another track for folks that are more in that mid-career $5,000 to $10,000 speaker mode, and we have our third track for the 10 and 15 and 18K rock stars that are already very successful, but want to pivot or want to change it up or want to reboot or they have a new topic or a new market, or maybe their market has gotten away from them because they've stopped marketing or stopped selling. So the short answer is yes, I would book a call just to get the clarity on where you are and what your first couple of steps might be. And then if we can help you, we'll let you know. And obviously, if not, we will turn you down, just like we did with poor Lisette.
All right. Olivia has a question. Do you support building speaking businesses that don't have corporate clients? In other words, she's working on filling public programs, so more the individual filling her own events versus being on stages for others.
Yeah, that is really that's not really a sustainable model. That is very, very hard to do unless you have a mailing list of about 50,000 people or more. My friend Robert Bradford has this public seminar model, and he says that, and he's a corporate strategy speaker. He says, you really don't know what you're doing in the public seminar market until you've lost $1 million trying to do it. And Robert has lost $1 million trying to do it and trying to put butts in seats. And he even has relationships, and he even has a marketing channel through the University of Michigan and the Michigan Graduate School of Business. So he's borrowing their mailing list of about 100,000 people, and it's still hard. It is still hard. So you can have that kind of public seminar model, if you will, But what I would encourage you to look at is how can we monetize that more quickly, or how can we build an audience for your own events by going to events where the butts are already in someone else's seats, and let's get you monetized there at between $5,000 and $10,000 a pop, and then bring people into your own private events if that's really what you want to do. What I'd rather have you do is get on stages where you don't have to worry about putting butts in seats, and there's a $5,000 or $10,000 check, plus there's probably a half dozen consulting clients in every one of those audiences, because I know Olivia's situation a little bit, although we haven't talked in a couple of years, but we've done some great work together in the past. The consulting revenue off the association or the corporate speaking gig is going to be way better than trying to fill a public program with butts and seats that gets very exhausting very quickly.
Awesome. Marty has a similar question, and maybe you can expand on it a bit. The examples you gave seem to apply to serving corporations or large businesses. Does your business apply to folks who want to work with smaller groups or individuals? Related to the last, but not quite the other events.
Yeah, and let me maybe clarify. There's no such thing as speaking to individuals, right? So by definition, if you're up on stage, you're speaking to a group. So if you're saying, I want to coach individuals, I want to consult with individuals, I want to mentor individuals, whether those people are executives or entrepreneurs or business owners or franchisees or independent solopreneurs, all of that works. All of that works. Typically, the association market is going to get you in front of both individual people and corporate people. And there's an argument to be made. We talk to our clients all the time about this. Corporations don't buy things, right? Individual executives and individual decision makers in corporations buy things. So in essence, we're all marketing to individuals. It's a question of, is your program, whether that's speaking or training or coaching or consulting or whatever it might be, is that aimed at a corporate audience or is that aimed at an entrepreneurial audience? And they're both good and they both work. It's just a question of, you'll be hunting and fishing in different places to get one set of conferences and meetings and conventions, and you'll be hunting in a different set of places to get the other. So as long as your strategy's in alignment, and that's part of what we'll talk about on your strategy call, obviously, that's why it's called the strategy call. When you go to doitmarketing.com/apply, we can help you sort that out. And we can help you kind of figure out, okay, well, you're kind of barking up the wrong tree here because there's no meetings of this kind of people. But maybe if we expand it and we focus on this kind of topic and this kind of group, that's where your best clients are actually hiding. Whether that's business, entrepreneurial, B2B, B2C, we can help you figure some of that out.
Got it. I only have one other question. It's more related to the presentation, and I think what's probably more important, Shannon is asking about how good does the slide presentation during a presentation need to be in order to warrant $5K per gig. I think, David, this would be a great opportunity to talk about value versus a slideshow or what you show up with. She talks about an NSA buddy who constantly feels like they're not good enough because of this issue. So I'll let you take it from there.
And who is this person? What's the name?
This is Shannon Rossi.
Shannon?
Yep.
Fantastic. So Shannon, tell your friend to immediately go to doitmarketing.com/apply, and we will fix her imposter syndrome around her slides. I'm kidding, of course. It's so funny because let me give you all the flavors of Shannon's question. It's a great question, by the way. Let me give you all the flavors of Shannon's question. Is my website pretty enough? Is my video awesome enough? Do I have enough sparkle and titles and color? Is my one sheet well designed enough? You can have, I'm not recommending this as a strategy, but you can have a fairly pedestrian website, fairly plain marketing materials, a video that is sort of so-so, and you will still get booked. You will still get booked, and you will still have the value because, remember the 3 circles that we started with? The 3 circles that we started with, that is where the game is played. That is totally where the game is played. It's about relevance, it's about value, and it is about what they get after you leave the building. What they get after you leave the building. So there's no such thing as, are my slides pretty enough for a $5,000 fee? No disrespect to your friend, but that's almost a ridiculous question. Is my website pretty enough, cosmetically attractive enough for a $5,000 fee? You know what? I would flip that question around to, is your value high enough for a $5,000 fee? Are the solutions and the problems that you're solving, are they big enough for a $5,000 fee? Is your messaging and packaging with your articulation and your distinction, is that sharp enough and distinct enough to punch through the noise and merit a $5,000, $7,000, $8,000 fee? That's where the money's made. It's not about how pretty are my slides or how slick is my website. There are people with slick websites that are broke. There's people with gorgeous slides who are broke, who can't rub two nickels together in this business because they haven't dialed in all of the things that we talked about today. So you don't want to be one of those people. And Shannon, what I recommend is, feel free to hop on a call to see how this might apply to you and how we can help elevate and escalate what you're doing. And I'm only half kidding about tell your friend to book a call because maybe she needs some help too. And maybe she's a he, because I never even asked about the gender of your friend, but doesn't matter. We help all kinds. We help all kinds. We have a totally egalitarian system here. So we're looking forward to speaking with you. We're looking forward to speaking with your friend. And trust me, it ain't about the slides. It ain't about the slide design. Bruce, anything else? Any other last minute folks pop in?
That is all the questions we have so far. We've gotten the ones from earlier, and that's it.
All the news that's fit to print.
That's right.
Excellent.
Fantastic.
All right, my friends. Well, we're looking forward to seeing you on your breakthrough call. That link is going to remain open here at doitmarketing.com/apply. That's live right now, open right now. Grab a time on the calendar. Let's see how we can help you move the needle on your results and get you that speaking MBA, that marketing and business acceleration that you've been looking for. Teresa, we will talk soon. Everyone else, thanks for being
Nothing else. Just can't wait to hop on the call with all of you. We've got lots of calls booking right now, so great to talk with you. And our team will anxiously await talking through your business strategies.
All right, gang. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.